Hello, Superintendent Nutta here today for the second session of my learning series for parents. My goal in creating these videos is to continue to share information with you about the division's priority areas for your child's education. As usual, if you have questions, please reach out. Session 1 shared some highlights of the strategies and actions that we have in place to meet the needs of students in Fort McMurray Public School Division and assure you that we're taking actions to make improvements. Today, we're going to dig into continuous improvement and how we determine those strategies. Our focus is always on learning and supporting student success. Our two main priority areas are success for all and maintaining safe, caring, welcoming, and respectful learning environments. And the elements of improvement that we're going to review today are results, engagement, planning, and actions. You can also find more information about our continuous improvement on our website on the main page. If you scroll down to the very center, you will see a clover leaf, much like this one. Continuous improvement means that we're working on making things better. So that could be our instruction, could be our communications, our practices, and much, much more. It's a constant cycle of learning through engaging schools and school communities, listening to their feedback and looking at the latest results, and then determining a plan forward. From there, we put the plan into motion and then we reflect on our progress as we go. Then we begin the whole cycle again. And I'm going to walk you through more details of how your school works through this process. When we talk about results, it's not just looking at the diploma exams or the provincial achievement test exams. Data review is key. And every January, we review all school evidence related to the priority areas of the school education plans with the school principals. Evidence might include things like literacy and numeracy results, any survey results from students and parents, attendance records, diploma exam results, provincial achievement test exam results, professional learning survey results, and a lot more. We just completed those meetings with all of our schools. And we also do a progress monitoring again in late March with the school principals again to see how their plans and actions are impacting student achievement. We hear about any adjustments that they may have had to make and new strategies that they're trying. We check in on the impacts that their Professional Learning Fridays are having for students. We offer coordinator supports where needed, as well as any material resources that they might need that are aligned to the targeted funding that we get from Alberta Education. That's usually for literacy, numeracy, and sometimes for curriculum that's new. We support schools to stay on a path so that their targets for the year can be met and prepare for the development of their spring education plans, which happens in May. We believe that building capacity is what we need to do in order to impact our students' learning, and that building capacity refers to learning that we do with the teachers. So FMPSD professional learning opportunities support that professional growth, resulting in optimum learning for all of our students. They need to learn like the students in order to help the students to succeed. Fort McMurray Public School Division provides Professional Learning Fridays, a Division Professional Development Day, annually, usually in January, and additional opportunities for teachers and leaders to collaborate to build professional and collective capacities in order to support doing what's best for kids. Examples of this would be learning strategies for teaching numeracy and literacy, maybe discovering some strategies for mental health or how to differentiate instruction, and assessment for students, because we know that not everyone learns the same way. By fostering this culture of continuous learning among our teachers and leaders, we believe that student learning needs will be supported. We want to ensure the best education for your child as well as support the growth of our team. That's why FMPSD staff have 13 Professional Learning Fridays to focus on improving their teaching and learning skills, as well as the leadership skills. Teachers have time to collaborate with one another, to learn from one another, find out what works or doesn't work, get advice on strategies that they can try, and discuss what they have tried that doesn't work. They also get to collaborate with other grade level teachers or subject teachers to develop common assessments or common learning plans. Key to Professional Learning Fridays is the fact that they learn something. They go back to class and try it out. They return next Professional Learning Friday and share what worked and didn't work, and then get more suggestions from their peers and learn and try again. And this continues, thus the name Continuous Improvement. By investing in continuous professional development, we aim to enhance the quality of our instruction and our leadership in the schools, and ultimately leading to improved student learning outcomes, as I said. At Fort McMurray Public Schools, we prioritize what's best for our students. Engaging with staff, with parents, with students, and community members plays an important role in shaping education decisions and improving student outcomes. We value the input that we receive from our schools and the school communities to plan for system direction and enhance program effectiveness, ensuring that continuous progress in student well-being. Through a variety of platforms and groups of school community members, we're able to engage. And there are just a few of the groups listed on the screen there. Thought exchange is something that you would have seen, and it could be from the board's budget survey to the thought exchange on safe and caring environments. We sometimes use this tool to have conversations about topics, or we simply gather data that reflects the perspectives of our school community members. This helps us make decisions about programming, funding, or infrastructure, for example. One group is the Superintendent's Advisory Group of Educators, which we call SAGE. They meet 3 times a year to discuss some hot topics in education, as well as gathering the teacher's perspective on current trends such as curriculum implementation, new legislation that came in, or classroom issues. Another example of a group would be the Student Advisory Council, who meets with the board 3 times a year to share their learning experiences, their needs, discuss some potential solutions. And another example would be a parent group, which is the Networks Group. The Networks Group is a representative council formed of school council members who meet with the board as well. They meet 4 to 5 times a year, and they share their perspectives on education with board members. Then at the school level, you have school councils. School councils are the advisory council to the school principal, and they're usually held monthly. This is your place as a parent to have a voice in matters that are relative to your child's education. The annual survey from Alberta Education, which is in progress right now, provides us with detailed information on a wide variety of topics along with academic achievement. So these are just a few examples of the many ways that we gather feedback from parents, from students, from staff, and from community members. Planning requires taking all of the feedback and coming up with a way to impact students through continuous improvement, but also staying within our budget. So utilizing the feedback from schools and their school communities, we prepare what we call a needs-based budget, which includes individual reviews of each school and department's context to present to the board. The board-approved budget serves as a planning, operational, and control mechanism for results and resources, as well as the basis for board approval of programs and resource development. We also take into account that some schools require more support than others, and that's where the needs base comes into play with some resources. The budget's developed in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, and in plain English, we just have to stay within the budget allocations, looking at our specific needs. So just because we have low results in literacy doesn't mean we need a literacy teacher to support students and that we'll get that. We have to stay within our budget. If we can do it, then it's generally approved. Another example of planning and continuous improvement would be program referrals. We have a number of special programs tailored to the learning of students. For example, we have life skills classes, we have VIP, which is vocational individualized programming, and skills class. These are examples of those special programs, and each year we review programs that are offered within the division. This review might require an expansion of those programs or a collapse of programs based on need, interest, and our budget. Program referrals are reviewed midwinter in preparation for the following year, and they are actually currently being reviewed. The program referrals are based on a student's needs, ensuring that we're providing programming that meets their needs. Another example of continuous improvement is the school reviews. So school reviews happen on an annual basis, and we usually do 2 or 3 schools per year as per the administrative procedures that we have. The schools are chosen based on a number of factors. It might be the time that's passed since the last review that they had. It might be that they have a new administrative team that needs some guidance on goals to work on because they're not familiar with the school yet. Or it might be because the results are declining, and there's many more other reasons. The school review process involves interviewing staff such as the superintendent, division office staff who support the school, the principal, the vice principal, teachers, educational assistants, students, and parents. All of these groups would be interviewed to understand the school in 4 specific areas. We look at pedagogy, assessment, and reporting practices. What are they doing in each of those areas? Are they aligned to this division policy and the expectations of the ministry? 2, we look at the implementation of the division and school goals from the education plan. 3, we look at the school culture. And 4, we look at the school leadership. There may be other local context that we dive into in the school review, but those are the 4 general areas that we would look at. In the last 4 years, we've done school reviews at Composite High, the Islamic School, Westwood, Ecole McTavish, Westview, Timberlea, Beacon Hill, and currently we are doing reviews at Walter and Gladys Hill and Frank Spraggins. There's a 1-page report with recommendations on each of those schools' websites that you can review if you're interested in seeing what the recommendations were. The review itself is not done and complete. After the report is written, there are usually 2 follow-up meetings with the school teams to ensure that the changes are being made, that we offer resources where they're needed, and that the progress for students is happening as recommended. And so through this continuous cycle of improvement, the schools are consistently developing staff, developing their students, and developing the school for success. Reflecting on results they have achieved, they're aiming to do better. They're engaging the school community members to get varied perspectives, planning to improve in priority areas, and taking action by implementing what they've learned and constantly reviewing what works and does not work to get better every time. Thank you for your time today. Being involved in your child's education is a great indicator of their success. The research says the more involved you are in your school's education, the more they observe that and understand the importance of it, and therefore their success is achieved at a higher rate than it otherwise would be. If you have any further ideas of topics that you'd like me to talk about, or you have questions about what I've shared today or shared in my last session, please feel free to email me and I can share answers best I can with you. I look forward to our next session. I hope you've enjoyed learning about continuous improvement at FMPSD. Thank you very much.